Hey, welcome to Face Palm Sunday, the segment on the internet where we respond to videos on the internet. And today I'm going to be responding to a BuzzFeed video that somehow went by without my knowledge. This was uploaded about a year ago, actually. But it's titled 9 Questions Gay People Have for Straight People. But in my personal opinion, I think the title should be 9 Questions Gay People Have for Religious People. Because one of the problems with this video is that the fact that it uses straight people and it makes a lot of assumptions and asks a lot of very odd questions that I've never actually hear straight people ask. In fact, the majority of these questions that these gay people ask of straight people are typically questions that religious people ask gay people, not straight people asking gay people. You and I are familiar with BuzzFeed well enough to know that they don't really give a shit about who they ask questions of or who they make videos about, because making giant generalizations on people as a whole is something that BuzzFeed really likes to do. So we're going to respond to this for my Facepalm Sunday. I hope you guys enjoy.
Why is my sexuality a lifestyle?
Why do you call it a lifestyle?
Like choosing to wear a dress?
He lives by the beach, that's his lifestyle.
It's not really a lifestyle, it's just my life.
Wow, Mr. Asian man, what wise words of wisdom. I would have never come to that conclusion without you having to tell me that it's not a lifestyle, it's your life. Like, wow. I feel so much information just overwhelming me with that statement that you just said. That I feel like I'm a whole new person. No. This is stupid. Nobody that I know, nobody that I've ever been around, even in college environments, have ever said that being gay is a lifestyle. The only people I ever hear that say gay is a lifestyle are people who are very, very religious. Because people who are religious think that being gay is a choice and that it's a lifestyle to have sex with the same sex. They don't think for a second on biology, on sexuality, on what people can and cannot find attractive. Those thoughts don't plague the mind of the religious. What plagued the mind of the religious is, oh my God, this is fake, they're doing this because they're bad people, or that it is a lifestyle because there's no such thing as being gay, only straight. This is a thing that I see people who are religious spew. I'm sure there are some non-religious people out there who may not understand sexuality that much, but I would be very shocked if any straight person who accepts gay people and openly supports gay marriage would ever assume or say something like being gay is a lifestyle.
Why is it that when you find out that I'm gay, you think that I want you?
I don't want you. Asian men, Asian women are not my type. But even if you were my type, I still wouldn't want you. I think a better question would be, why are you assuming that I am assuming that I want you? And if someone is truly straight, why the fuck would they want to be, why would they want a gay person if this is directed towards straight people?
Standards, first of all. Everyone has a type. You might not be their type. Don't flatter yourself.
Why are you so worried about how I'm gonna have kids?
Why does it matter if I'm gonna have kids or not?
Technically, the world is overpopulated, and me not reproducing is helping you out.
So if I want to have kids, I'm pretty sure I can figure it out.
Yeah, no, I don't give a shit about whether you can or cannot have kids. It's really none of my business. But I'll tell you whose business it is, religious people, because they do find it very important if you can populate the earth. I mean, their Bible does support and command them to go out and repopulate the earth with tons and tons of babies. And yeah, we are very overpopulated. I 100% agree. But this is just very disingenuous to fucking people who are straight by making the assumption that we're all up in your face about you not being able to have kids. I only hear this from religious folk.
I can figure it out.
Why do you feel the need to ask who's the man and who's the woman in the relationship?
Last I checked, we were both women. That's why we're together. Both have lady parts.
Really? Do you not really understand the question when they ask who's the man in the relationship? When they ask, if a straight person asks who's the man in the relationship and you both are gay, all that means is that they're asking who's the person who makes more decisions, who makes the bigger choices in the relationship. Because for the most part, most relationship dynamics, whether it's male, female, female and male, there's someone who is more in charge in the relationship, who makes more decisions than somebody else, who is more dominant, who is more submissive. That's a very normal part of relationships, and I don't see this really as an issue. Personally, I would never ask someone who's the man in the relationship, but I don't think you should be offended by that type of question, because all that really means is that, well, it could mean several different things, unless you ask the person to clarify what exactly they mean. Maybe they don't know that you're gay, but even if they do know that you're gay, by asking that question, they just simply want to know who's the big decision maker. It's really not, I don't see what the issue is by someone asking that question.
Why do you get offended when people ask if you're gay?
Why would you be offended that someone thinks you're gay? I don't get offended when people think I'm straight. I mean, I kind of do. There are worse things.
Oh, I don't get offended when people think that I'm gay. I just find it irritating that people assume my sexuality because when I was younger in my teen years, I grew up a mama's boy, and I did. I spent a lot more time with my mom than with my dad. My dad was working 6 days a week all the time. He would come home. I'd see him for like an hour. He'd watch TV and then go to sleep. I was homeschooled, so my relationship dynamic was very strongly with my mom. So in a small, indirect way, I kind of was very, I had kind of very more feminine-like qualities growing up and as a teen. I was extremely sensitive to a lot of things because I grew up alongside my mom, and my mom really kind of shaped, to a small extent, who I was as a teen. The feminine qualities that I displayed back when I was like 16, for the most part, are pretty much gone. But again, I'm not offended when someone asks that I'm gay. It's just really no one's business to ask such a question, much less assume what my sexuality is. And why does my sexuality matter to anybody? If I'm bisexual, why does that matter? If I'm straight, why does that matter? If I'm gay, why does that matter? Maybe people just don't like you assuming that they're gay because they have certain characteristics, such as being feminine. You want to know how to get on my bad side on a personal level? Make assumptions about me. Make assumptions about me that you don't know about me, but you make assumptions based upon that, and off those assumptions, then you come to me and you talk to me about the assumptions that you think that you know about me. Yeah, that's gonna get me in a very irritated mood because I just want someone to be direct with me. If you think I'm gay, ask him if I'm gay. Don't make the assumption that I'm gay because, hey, I kind of laugh high-pitched when I laugh really hard.
How does it feel to be accurately represented in everything?
Every single show and film ever.
Why is your definition of diversity a gay white man?
I can't think of anyone who reminds me of me.
The most that I had was Buffy, and she was straight.
Sailor Moon would probably be the closest representation of a young gay Asian.
Well, goddamn, I guess I can't watch Sailor Moon anymore. Thanks for that.
Why is it that you have such a large dating pool?
But still a really high divorce rate.
So what you're implying here is that the higher divorce rate among heterosexual couples, and I don't know the statistic of that, maybe that is a true statement, maybe it isn't, but what relevancy does that have towards anything? I would say a large part of divorce rate has to do with people getting involved with each other when they don't know each other. Do you know how many people I see my age, not my age, people who are just turned 18, 19 years old, who are getting married, who are popping out children at 18, 19 years of age? They haven't even finished goddamn college yet. It's problems with divorces in this current generation, I think, this is my opinion, there's no statistical evidence for this, maybe there is, I don't know, is people getting involved who don't truly get to know one another. Oh, I dated you for 6 months, let's get married. True thing that I know people who've done that sort of stuff. It blows my mind every time I hear of someone knowing someone for less than a year and they get married. Like, I think you should date someone 2, 3, 4, maybe even up to 5 years before you even consider marrying them. The max is you need to date them at least 2 years. There's a lot of things that take part in why divorce rates are high. But guess what? Gay people get divorced too. That's not a straight person problem.
Because it's real marriage. Because it's heterosexual.
Why do you have to call it a gay wedding?
It's just a wedding. It's just a wedding.
Is it just so you can charge us more?
If 2 black people were getting married, would you call it a black wedding?
Oh yeah, I would totally call it a black wedding. Why? Because I like the emphasis on black wedding, just sounds cool to me. And the fact that I could let all my fellow friends know that there's gonna be a lot of fucking KFC chicken there. And that in itself is a reason to call it a black wedding, because then you're gonna get everybody excited about chicken.
Why do you try to set us up with the very next gay person you see?
I don't try to set you up with the other straight guy I know.
We have Tinder or Grindr. What do you gay ladies use? Oh, we don't have one. Okay, never mind. Thank you for trying to set us up. We need help.
Actually, madam, there are several dating apps for people who are gay. One of a very popular one being called Her, which is exclusively designed for women. There's actually, I'm thinking of like 3 other different apps that I know of designed for women who are gay. But you know, that doesn't really, if you're really upset about apps not being represented because you're gay, then your priorities are in the wrong place. That's definitely a first world problem, is not having an app represent you being gay on hookup websites, you know, because those always go really well, right? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this was my response to BuzzFeed. If you see any new responses or see other things that they've made, feel free to send them my way. If you see any crazy quizzes, feel free to send them my way. Also, I do apologize if I seem somewhat down in this video. I am, so now you know. All my links are linked down below in the description. My Discord is also linked down below. We are partnered with Discord now. Permanent URL is officially there. I'm in there at least once every day, usually in the evening, but love for you guys to join. Thank you for watching this video, and have a great rest of your Sunday, and also have a great rest of your Halloween for tomorrow. Stay safe.